Okay, Bobby, so glad that you came in to meet with me today and have a conversation. My name is Joey, and I'm going to be your community leader from this moment forward. And just want to let you know on the beginning that we are so excited about what God is doing in your life to get you to the point where you're going to be a successful life group leader. And so my hope during our conversation today is that you feel equipped and empowered to be successful as a life group leader. And so we have given you several tools that I want to draw your attention to. First is a leader notebook. Feel free to take notes in this and write things down that you want to remember. Also, we have this onboarding card, which will act as our guide for our conversation. We won't follow it rigidly, but it'll be kind of organic in our conversation. It'll just keep us on track. So, you ready to get started?
Let's go.
Okay. All right, Bobby. Well, before we really dive in, I would love to get to know you a lot better. So as we establish this relationship that's going to go from this point forward, can you tell me a little bit about how you came to be a follower of Christ?
Yes. I was around the age 16, and I gave my life to Christ then in a Baptist church. But I really wasn't totally committed and devoted. So I was kind of in and out of church, more or less played church.
And then was there a moment that it became real for you?
It actually became real when I was in my mid-20s. I accepted my calling in ministry. And then I got to a point in my life where I wasn't feeling as though I was in my purpose.
And how did you come to find Life.Church?
Well, actually, one of my closest friends, who was one of my mentors, had told me about Life.Church, and I had moved, and I came for the first time 10 years ago. And ever since then, I knew that this was a place where God wanted me to be.
Wow. And since coming to Life.Church, tell me about your journey of deciding or hearing from God that you were going to be a life group leader.
Well, that was actually an experience where I began to be inspired by one of my first life group mission pastors who really began to pour into me and put me in places where I wasn't exactly comfortable in, but I soon developed a confidence, not in myself, but in the gifts that God had given me. And then I just, stepped forward.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, we always want our leaders to always be moving forward in their development and pushing themselves into uncomfortable places as they grow as a leader. And so in order to do that, we need to make sure there's nothing holding us back to be the best leader that we can be. And so do you feel like in your life right now, there is anything that you need to let me know about that would keep you from being an incredible life group leader?
Absolutely not.
Cool. We expect all of our leaders who are in a position of influence to lead an example, a lifestyle of purity, that kind of thing. And so if there's ever a moment when you want to come and talk to me, if you're in a situation that is leading down that path, I am a resource for you and would love to have that conversation. So, all right, let's get into a little bit more about what a life group is. All right, Bobby, well, thanks for sharing a little bit of your story with me. That's incredible. Now let's get into a little bit more of what a life group actually is, which I'm sure you know a little bit about, but we'll just kind of give a broad picture of it. So life groups are the beating heart of each campus. It's a community, a group of people where people can be needed, known, and loved. And actually, if we look back in history at the first early church, it was a small group of people that were doing life together. And that's the way Life.Church even started. It was just a small group of people. And now we're just a collection of small groups of people at each location. And so I'm going to direct your attention to the card there. And we essentially have 4 different types of life groups. The first one is an option to start an ongoing life group. And this is a life group where you gather people together for an indefinite amount of time. There's no end date on it, but you just get together and you meet consistently, whether it's twice a month, every week, whatever, and you just consistently meet. Another great option is called a short-term life group. Now, this is a great option for people who want to meet seasonally, maybe around a certain curriculum. And once that curriculum is over, that life group has the option to stop meeting, or around a certain series that is being preached at that time. You can gather for the duration of the series. Okay, and Bobby, the third option for starting a life group is with people that already exist in your life. So chances are that you already, throughout each week, find yourself in small groups of people, whether you're attending your kid's soccer practice, or maybe you get together with other families or couples and have dinner every other week. You have the opportunity to take a more intentional bent with that community and start gathering, and you would rise up and be the life group leader of that group. The fourth way to start a life group is through mentoring relationships. And this is a great way for people who are better in the one-on-one situation to begin meeting one-on-one with a handful of people, pouring into their lives and leading them, and then occasionally getting them together corporately and sharing what we're going through as well. So those are the ways that you can start a life group. So knowing all four of those options of life groups, which one is the one that you feel God is leading you to lead?
It would be the short-term life group that runs along with Craig's series that he would be preaching.
Okay, great. Well, and your next step then, my encouragement for you would be to attend one of your campus short-term leader trainings that's going to be hosted right before that series. So that'll be a great next step for you. And then we'll go through a life group plan as well.
Great.
All right, Bobby, now that we've gone through all of that, I mentioned earlier that I'm your community leader. And so I want to give you more explanation about what really that means. So I'm essentially going to do three things for you. The first is I'm going to help onboard you, which involves this conversation that we're having right here. Also, I'm going to make sure you have all the paperwork that you need to be official, and make sure that you have a life group leader plan and that your vision is good as you begin your life group. The second thing is I'm here to support you. Ongoing throughout the duration of your life group, you're gonna have my phone number and a way to contact me. If things come up that you don't know how to handle, I'm a resource for you. Then the third thing is I'm gonna help you develop as a leader. We have 5 development tools that I'll tell you about a little later that are available to you to help you develop as a stronger life group leader. And so whenever the time comes that you want to engage with those development tools, I'll have them available for you. All right, Bobby, well, let's go ahead and flip to the back of our onboarding card. And on the back, it's this section called Great Leaders Share. And SHARE is actually an acronym that we use to get you going in the right direction and to sum up everything that we're talking about here. So the S in SHARE is step into the game. And so we believe that all great leaders learn best when they're in the game and gaining experience. And so I'm going to encourage you to continue to put yourself in situations that challenge you, that make you feel uncomfortable, that you can step out and really develop your leadership. The H is have a plan. And so we have an opportunity to go to a link that where you can actually create your life group plan. You can be as specific or as fluid as you want with it, and it'll act as your guide going forward, because great leaders have some sort of vision, whether concrete or loose, about where they're headed and the direction that they're going and leading a group of people. The A is ask the people you know first. I guarantee you that God has people in your life right now who need the kind of community that you're going to be stepping up and leading. So whether you're in your neighborhood or with your family or at work, begin praying and asking God to reveal to you those people who you can just step out and ask and say, hey, does this kind of group appeal to you? Would you like to come to my life group? The R is relate to people. We know that if the heart of our church is life groups, and the heart of life groups is relationships. And so it's going to be these relationships that you build with each person in your group. They're going to allow you to really celebrate the great times in life when they come, and to help people through the difficult times when those things arise. So the quality of those relationships is going to help ultimately make your life group successful. And then the final thing is enjoy our connection. So, and that means our connection. So utilize your community leader, because as I said earlier, I'm here to support you and to help you develop into being an incredible life group leader. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Cool. All right, Bobby, I have really enjoyed getting to know you during this time, and I think we have a great idea of where you're going as a life group leader, and I'm really excited about what God's going to do through this community. So just some tangible next steps for you moving forward from our conversation. I'm going to ask that you attend that short-term life group leader training that's going to begin the next series, the one that you want to coincide with your short-term group. And I would love to reconvene with you after that training just to make sure that you feel really equipped and empowered to lead your life group. And the other thing is, Bobby, I want you to leave the option open. I know this is a short-term group and you guys have an end date, but I have seen it before where God has connected people together, and at the end of that term of the life group, they just didn't want to stop meeting. And I want you to know you have that option, that after the end of the series, you guys can continue to meet and continue to do life together afterwards. So Bobby, let's reconvene after the short-term life group is over, and then we'll talk about those next steps. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Cool. Is there anything in any way that I could be praying for you as you begin this journey of leading a life group?
To own my development.
Okay.
My self-development.
Absolutely.
Becoming a great leader.
Cool. I'll be praying for you on that.